Good afternoon. It's Terry Dwayne Ashford. We're coming in actually not in the afternoon, but we're coming in evening, 6:31 p.m. We're bringing you StreetNOW News. News Radio, StreetNOW News with Indacarseat. That guy, Terry Dwayne Ashford, all for you. Our report today will start and end with an analysis that StreetNOW News completed earlier in the day for you. That particular analysis looked at the traffic rolling in from the Silver Spring, Maryland area rolling into Washington, D.C. We looked at that and we just compared, looked at how the vehicles were traveling, and we have that report coming up for you next. A very, very brief report within a narrative of this broadcast we're going to place after we get off of this live broadcast. We're going to place a link to that article in the narrative of this broadcast. You're now live with Washington, D.C. native or Washington, D.C. resident Terry Dwayne Ashford reporting for you. Once again, we are coming in with that report for you that talks about the traffic as a targeting tool that was done by StreetNOW News. Terry Dwayne Ashford earlier in the morning. That particular report is indicated specifically on the tweet station, the DatGuY TV StreetNOW News tweet station, and we want to direct you there for it as we talk about it for you. Talk, y'all. Well, that is what we're doing right now. Indacarseat, that guy Terry Dwayne Ashford produced an analysis, a report for you on March 17th, and today is Wednesday, where he counted a total of 1,015 vehicles, analyzed and watched in terms of their trafficking and movement into the city of Washington, D.C. And the findings show some very interesting facts. Facts that pertain to safety, speed, and types vehicles that was moving into Washington, D.C. from the outskirts of the state of Maryland and other areas of the Washington, D.C. metropolitan area. What we saw, one of the reasons why we did this report was looking at the tailgating ordeal that have found to be a common practice, victimizing individuals on the streets. So we looked at the spacing between each car that drove of those 1,015 vehicles. And one of the things that we found very interesting is that when the victims were not on the road, the spacing between each of the vehicle appeared to have been on a higher average than two car lengths during the commute and the travel and the movement of the cars. Even when the cars were going at a particular pace or even fast pace, there was at least 1.5 to 2 car lengths between each of the two vehicles. We noticed that, and we was documenting a total of 1,015 cars that we were counting there. And we did observe times when the space decreased between those vehicles, which seemed to have been normal spacing there when a car was turning that was one of the times in which the vehicles got closer to each other within that 1.5 to 2 car lengths when they were turning, when another car was approaching a red light, and also when the travel speed appeared below the heightened level of the driver in the vehicle. Now, we are indicating this because Terry Dwayne Ashford here, has experienced extreme safety hazards on the streets of Washington, D.C. in the car that he's riding in, regardless of who's driving the car. It appeared that that particular vehicle was being placed in hazardous, dangerous situations that even included tailgating to a point where it was extremely unsafe. Very, very high speeds of tailgating. The rush upon the car that the person was in was extremely at a heightened speed there. And then he got up to the car, and he stopped immediately. Now that was kind of scary. So all of that is what prompted this particular report. We're not going to talk a lot on this report because we're going to give you a chance to read it. Lots of details inside of this report for you today that was generated by Terry Dwayne Ashford for StreetNOW News, your journalist-in-chief broadcaster. And so we want to direct you through the link that's going to be placed in the narrative of this broadcast. I want to direct you to that particular report. We are also indicating what we found was an extremely high proportion of extremely large vehicles. I'm talking about from 18-wheelers to 12-wheelers to vehicles, trucks with dual multiple axles. We're rolling in at pretty paceful speeds there that would cause danger to pedestrians driving along the street. And those particular vehicles appear to have been the hazardous ones for the victims who were potentially in what is alleged as victimizing the individuals. When I say the individuals, I'm speaking of specifically myself here in this case, Terry Dwayne Ashford. And it was very unnerving. So we got lots and lots of stats in that vehicle report for you today. So we want you to go to our tweet station and read that report for yourself. We don't want to go into the details of the report in this broadcast, but we do want you to take a look at that report and ascertain for yourself. What are you doing when you're on the street with one of the victims? Are you victimizing? Or are you just going about what you came out there to do? For StreetNOW News, we're going to close it out today. This is a live broadcast, 6:40 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And today, it's Wednesday evening. And we want to direct you to our narrative of the broadcast and also to the tweet station, www.datgtv.wordpress.com. You're hearing the voice right now, Terry Dwayne Ashford, your StreetNOW News journalist-in-chief, and you're in the car, that guy. Now, what we're going to do again is we're going to indicate in the narrative of this particular broadcast, we're going to go ahead and place the link to that report that we did for you this morning. And there you have it, all for yourself. Have a wonderful day, guys.